Welcome in.
I didn't do my research. I didn't because
It's all over. It's all over.
I don't think I've been this like kind of, like
I
buzz.
don't think he bit my ear.
Hello, let's journey to the middle.
This journey to the middle.
You'll meet them all again on their long journey to the middle.
And welcome back to another episode of Journey to the Middle. This is Dana, and I have my furry fun guy friends hanging out with us tonight too. We've got Matt and Nando here.
Woo!
Nando's sporting a beautiful little bow tie for us tonight too. I know you guys can't see it, but that's your loss. So
I've never really thought about it that we both have beards.
yeah, like I said, man. Yeah, and the stashes, I plucked mine, so I don't have that anymore. So I can't be in that club with you guys. Also, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know it's been a while since we recorded too. It gets crazy around the holidays, so here we are again, boys.
We are here.
A new year is upon us, and Matt, I know we kind of had some discussions this week, and I think, I think it would be silly of us not to address the elephant in the room because we're recording here on Sunday, January 10th, and it's been a fucking crazy week.
Yes, the elephant's in the room. Nando's got a haircut.
Yeah, everyone, what do you think?
No, all right. So weird week, huh, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird week this past week.
A
Yeah. So just real briefly, we were talking about this whether we wanted to discuss it or not. I had a talk with my oldest daughter about things that happened at the Capitol this past week, and without really getting into political sides or anything like that, a lot of what I told her was really just we're looking at the current events and things that have been happening for the past 4+ years, because we're really talking about when the campaign for the last election started.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the biggest thing is that if you don't agree with what you're seeing, beyond just, being a voter and politically active and everything, but like be an advocate for change.
Yeah.
Just if you want to make change, you go out there and do what you can, do your part to advocate for something better. And whether you're on the right side or left side of the aisle, be passionate about what you like, what you want. But there's one thing, you can't convince everybody to agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
but you can certainly be someone who, is going out there and getting the word out for what you feel is right, whether politically or socially.
In a non-violent way, I think would be a good tag on to that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, Matt, I think that's really, thanks for addressing that. And I think what you shared with Caitlin is a really smart viewpoint. So I know we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I think very, very well said.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'd pat you on the back, but I can't do that. So I'm just like virtually high-fiving you, even though you can't see my face. Virtual high fives. Wait, and I'm even going to slap my hands together. Yeah, high fives.
We can't even high five if we were together, though.
I know. It's true.
Jim and Pam from The Office are really good at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call. Speaking of, The Office is no longer on Netflix because it's only on Peacock now. And we're not going to go down that rabbit hole either, but
Another tragedy from the past week.
I know, because the shit thing is that like the app is not even supported on my smart TV, and I don't have a fucking Apple TV, so I can't watch it. So
can you cast it from your phone to your TV?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good call, baby. Good call. I'm gonna tell Mike about that because I know that he downloaded that. So I'm gonna thank you. God, now this is why I need you guys around more often because
he's like, what the hell, man? Come on.
Brain is fried lately. Like I said, all these long work weeks now are gonna be crazy again. Anyway, I'm again, no tangents. I'm trying really hard not to do that tonight. I'm when we left off the last time though, I think that we did announce what we were going to talk about this time, didn't we?
It was a while ago. I'm not even sure.
I can't remember, but if we did, then I will recap. And if we didn't, then this is what y'all are going to hear about tonight. So, we're going to talk about hair bands, man. That's like one of my favorite genres from the like mid to late 80s / very early 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm really stoked about talking about this. And I know we kind of kicked back and forth, like talking about like favorites, but I mean, because I love the entire genre. So
and that's funny because as I was like scrolling through who I wanted to talk about, and I know I've talked about Guns N' Roses probably. I think I want to say like episode 4 at some point. I
think so.
So, and I think it was our favorite things episode.
Yes. I
feel like that's what it was. So I'm not going to talk about them, and I'm not going to also talk about the fact that we're talking about hair bands with a guy who doesn't have any.
You got a beard though. There's hair.
I gotta have something, man. I look terrible without something on my face.
Just shave your eyebrows.
There you go.
Yeah.
Complete the look.
Look like powder.
That's what I was just gonna say, dude. Then he could be powder. Which, by the way, is a great movie. But no, I definitely, Matt. I want to hear. Okay, so are you just going to talk about one band in particular, or are you going to talk about a couple at least?
It depends on how long we go.
Okay.
I got one. I got a lot of notes on one. I got very little on the second. So
okay.
I'm going to try to play it to the time.
Understandable. Well, then I'm going to be a dick, and I'm going to say, Nando, you're going to go first then.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to go first.
At least I don't got to be the dick this episode.
Right. I will moderate and be the dick. No, totally interested in hearing from you for like legitimately. Like I'm very interested in hearing from you on this because I know you're a few years younger than us. So
just a couple, not a few.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm not that far away. I'm 84, so I'm closer than you think.
When you said 84, I took it as your age.
No,
you're talking about the year.
The year, yeah. Oh, I'm an old man now.
Average farm remembers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was just a couple years away from you guys. Not too far.
You're not far. 5 years isn't far, but I feel like you were born like right as the genre was starting to get some steam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, literally, I mean,
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I mean, it started out really like because it was like a post-punk movement, right? So like then it started out in the very, very early 80s, and you had all of these bands. Like the big scene was really like the Viper Room, right? And like all of those clubs in LA where a lot of these bands kind of started coming out of. And you had the Poisons, and you had Bon Jovi was an East Coast band, but a lot of those quote unquote glam bands, because that's what they were referred to at first, like Motley Crue, all of that shit. They really resonated on like the Hollywood Strip, right?
Yeah.
So Nando, I really am curious to hear like your take on this, and like if you have any favorite bands, if it's something that you still celebrate the genre to this day, because I hope you say yes, because I do every day.
Well, so growing up, I I mean, the radio was pretty much tuned to like a Spanish radio station. So,
Right on.
Wait, is there a Spanish metal?
you know, I'm pretty sure there is. I didn't pick one, but I would have to say that I was introduced to this kind of music more so into probably my younger teenage years.
Okay, so kind of like a flashback kind of thing.
Yeah, right. And the cool thing is, I could say that I could appreciate it more as as I've gotten older, because like when you're young, you're just like, oh, I don't listen to that, so you kind of just switch the station or whatever.
They're pansies. I don't listen to that.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about this. But like now, I mean, Jacqueline and I went to a concert in Vegas, like 3 years ago. We saw Billy fucking Idol, not just Billy Idol. Billy fucking Idol, and the band that I picked was actually one that we saw in Wrigley. So yeah, so I do enjoy their music. Probably not as much as you guys do, but I do. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm I do like the 80s hair bands.
Nice.
Yeah. So my pick was Def Leppard.
Oh, that's a great fucking pick.
Yes. And we saw him with Journey, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Dude.
Oh my God! Wait, is that the? You
that was like 3 or 4 years ago, I think, when that tour came around, right?
That was like 2018. God,
yeah, yeah.
The reason why I'm kind of like hesitating to speak out loud right now. So Dana doesn't know, but Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
He was wearing a T-shirt from that concert.
Oh really?
Friday. Yes,
I didn't even know you went.
He didn't go. Somebody else went.
Oh.
It's a story.
Of course.
I love that pick though. Def Leppard is a fantastic band from that era.
And see, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, I was, when I was, doing some research with this, I'm like, hey, Jacqueline, Def Leppard, I'm like, that's an 80s hair band. She's like, of course it is. What's wrong with it? I'm like, okay, sorry. She's sitting there. She's like, I'm telling my mom. And like, oh, so like 60 messages later, they're like laughing at me. And I'm like, damn it.
If you haven't figured it out, Jacqueline and Nando's relationship are basically her just being like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, she's right.
It works, though.
It does.
God.
I'm like, but I'm taller.
No, I got to ask you that. So Def Leppard, you saw them live, which I'm incredibly jealous.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. So then I gotta ask the question. Then, what was like the very first song that you ever remember hearing from them?
Oh, the Pour Some Sugar on Me for sure.
Of course.
Yeah. And then like once I heard that, I'm like, everything just fell into place. I'm like, oh yeah, of course I've heard this one. I think Jacqueline actually played the Armageddon on for me, or Armageddon
It? Yeah.
That one. Armageddon on. Wait, that's because she was like, how are you going to a concert and not knowing their songs? But like once I heard them, I'm like, no, I've heard these songs. I just didn't know who sang it.
Totally.
And I was like, dang it, I'm such an idiot.
No. Now I celebrated the entire Hysteria album because it was one like the year, like I don't know, Matt, what was that? Like 87, I think, is when that album came out.
87? Yeah, I wrote it down.
Did I get it? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So that year for Christmas, I have to interject here because the two bands the artists in the band, obviously Def Leppard, who you mentioned, that year for Christmas, I asked my mom for like all of this music for Christmas. And of course it was back in the day when we actually had audio cassettes and not fucking CDs. So my mom did me a solid that year. And I remember it was also in the age where they were considered like the album art was considered, it was like Satanic Panic, and it was like considered satanic, like the cover art from Hysteria, whatever. Mm-hmm. But my mom got me Def Leppard, Billy Idol, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, a bunch of Bon Jovi, like a bunch of those bands. I think she even got me Winger that year for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. So like this, it's such a heartwarming conversation to talk about this stuff because I was 8 years old, but I still have these fond memories of this stuff. So I'm sorry, Nando, please continue.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, we had the cassettes too, like like the really thick ones. You're just like,
the one you got the pencil.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But ours was just in Spanish.
La piste. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. What is pen? Un bolígrafo?
Yeah, but that's like the official Spanish, which we don't use. We use the slang pluma.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Damn.
somebody was asking me, like, "Oh, I need a bolígrafo," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?"
Well, see, that's so like I took Spanish in high school and I was in Spanish National Honor Society and like all that shit. So that was the proper Spanish that I learned. And I still have some retention, but I'm going to be using my Rosetta Stone here soon. So I'm going to be that asshole that's going to speak to you in proper Spanish soon. So just wait.
Okay. Don't feel bad because Jacqueline's learning Spanish.
I love it.
Yeah, and every time I correct her, she's like, "Well, that's not the right way." And I'm like, "Do you want to learn Spanish or do you want to be able to speak it with someone?"
Yeah, do you want to speak it like a white person?
Yeah. Because I'm like, if you want me to help you, they're saying it wrong because that's not how we talk.
Well, then you're going to have to give us both lessons because when I start talking to you like that, you're going to be like, "That's going to be $5, Dana, please."
Hey, let's not forget, Izzy is pretty fluent too. So
Yeah, she can help.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we'll bring her in too. And maybe you could get a side hustle with Izzy, Matt.
Yeah.
Izzy's got the accent too.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Accent.
He really does because her teachers have all been either from Mexico or Spain.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I keep making this like
Tangent. You need a buzzer. Every time we go on a tangent, just buzz.
okay. All right. Oh, wait.
Raise
No.
a hand.
I'll raise my hand. Exactly.
Nando just learned where the raise hand button was and pushed it before we started.
I feel like a child. Excuse me.
So we're using
I have to go to the bathroom, please.
we're using Google Hangouts to record, and on like the newest version of Google Hangouts, there's a function called raise a hand. And so here, you hear that little thing? That's what it is. You raised your hand. So
But did you know that if you don't put it down, it still says that your hand is
Yeah.
raised? See, Matt raised-
Oh yeah, lower hand. Yeah,
I just lowered my hand. Yeah.
there we go.
All right, cool. Then I'll be on top of that. Okay, so I am going to shut my word hole. So now please continue.
I only wrote a small snippet, so it's fine.
Let's hear it. I love it.
I wrote a little bit about their first and their third album, which were good, but they weren't as good as Hysteria, like how you mentioned. Their fourth album had 6 top 20 U.S. hits.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's insane. And of course, I asked Jacqueline, she's like, well, that's because they made sure that everything on it was perfect. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It Rocked was one of the singles on that album.
Yeah. Rocket, I've got Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, of course, Hysteria, Armageddon, and Animal, which I hadn't heard Animal yet. So
You still haven't heard it? What?
no. So I mean, 5 out of the 6, I'm pretty happy that I at least heard, 5 of the 6 of them.
Watch the video for Animal when you get a chance, because I remember it. Matt, do you remember it? It was like a circus where they did the video. It was really kind of cool for Animal. Anyway,
That's it.
That's it. That's
I
it.
got a phone call and I'm hanging up.
Everybody say bye to Nando. No.
All right.
I love that you saw Billy fucking Idol though, because I saw him at Lollapalooza back in 06, I think, when it was hotter than balls outside, and he's really, really good live. He's fantastic live.
You made us wait a
He goes
couple
by Billy, or maybe he goes by Bill now.
Billiam. I think he goes by Billiam.
I think he's got a song with Miley Cyrus actually recently.
Fuck yeah, dude. Because she's killing it lately, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was funny. We were watching, I forget what we were watching last night. And when it ended, because we were just like watching a program on Hulu, it started on like this New Year's Eve program.
Oh.
And just, what the hell is this coming on? January 8th or whatever the hell.
Were you watching Hulu?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest on there.
Right. And Miley performed at the very beginning.
Yes.
So we were talking about her, and I was telling Jen, I'm like, her new album's really good.
Yes, it is. Her and Bieber's new album, by the way.
Never listened to all of Bieber's. I've only heard the singles.
Oh my God. I never thought I would hear those words coming out of my fucking mouth at almost 42 years old, but his new album is really, really good. Because I watched him on SNL last year when he was on, and I was like, dude, I've got a lot more respect for him now.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple episodes ago. Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. So I don't want to go down. Wait. Yeah.
No respect for him still.
Nando's going 0.
Dana raised her hand. Oh no, we're in trouble.
Dana has a question.
No, Dana's trying to stop herself from fucking going on a tangent. All right. So Matt, I'm really excited to hear yours as well.
All right. Well, I wanted to say one thing. Just you talked about like the booklet on a CD.
Yes.
So I just had this thought. I had a friend years ago when we were young that would turn the all the notes inside out so that you couldn't see the parental advisory, so his parents wouldn't see what he had.
That is a brilliant fucking way to do that.
Yeah. This was in high school though, so I was like, dude, we're in high school.
Right. I was just gonna say at that point, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So my band that I was going to talk about, and maybe Nando knows them because one of their albums had the same name as his birth year.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, I'm like, wait, Dana's hesitating?
No. I said I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. There was a movie of the same name just came out.
Yeah.
I know it's Wonder Woman 84, but I don't know the.
Van Halen had an album called 1984. Come on, this guy. Where's Jacqueline to tell him he's an idiot?
Jacqueline. You know a band that had an album come out in 84?
That it was titled that year.
Yeah, it was
titled 84 in 1984. We'll see if she gets it. She's ignoring me.
Okay, well, that sounds about right. So Van Halen is inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2007, which is, I thought, a lot later than it probably should have been.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I think everybody knows about the Eddie Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, you know.
What I would like, though, Matt, if that's okay with you, I would love for you to give a little synopsis on that whole thing.
So basically, Eddie Van Halen, no, not Eddie, sorry. David Lee Roth. I meant David Lee Roth. Did I say Eddie Van Halen?
Yes, but that's okay.
Well, Eddie Van Halen unfortunately passed last year.
Yeah, I was just going to say we have to touch on that for sure.
I was going to, and you know what was crazy? So, and I didn't realize this until I was going through these notes. He was diagnosed in 2001.
Yes, he lived with it for a long time, and but it was really early that they diagnosed him, and didn't he he was okay for a while, but then it kind of came back with a vengeance, right?
Right.
It was cancer, right?
Yeah, I didn't know it had been so long.
I didn't know that either, actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, and then I mean there was the big debate between the singers is what I was going to get at, of who people favor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you a David Lee Roth person or are you a Sammy Hagar person?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dana, which one are you?
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually both, because I do
not an answer.
I know it's a shitty neutral answer, but I appreciate the Diamond Dave days a ton, because that's what really helped rise them, help them rise to the level of popularity that they had. However, when Hagar came in, I feel like their songwriting got a lot more serious and better. So that's why I have an appreciation for both of them. If I had to pick, if I really had to pick a favorite, I guess, I would have to go with Diamond Dave, honestly.
Okay. I think that's the more popular answer. And not to say it's a bad answer.
Sure.
My part of the problem I had with David Lee Roth is that
he's a content. Oh, sorry, I said that out loud.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
Ben raised his hand.
Well, I gotta remember where to bleep that part out when he goes through to edit this episode.
Oh, I'm not taking it out.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, then good.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, really. Yeah, he's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
I don't love some of his songs. As I was looking at it, he would like to do those poppier songs and everything.
Totally.
Those are the ones from the early Van Halen that I don't really care for.
Same. I'm with you. Yeah.
You know, like I was gonna say, my favorite Van Halen song is probably Panama.
Dude, high five again. Yes, very good call.
But you know, they were really more commercially successful with Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had 4 top, I can't remember how high they got, but 4 like top 10 albums at the least in a row. They won more Grammys with Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
They only won 1 with David Lee Roth.
Oh no shit.
So really, I mean, in the end, commercially, who was better? Where did they make more money? They made more money with Hagar.
Sure.
Their first album, they actually were in debt by $1 million after recording it.
Oh shit.
You know why though? Because of all the bullshit contracts that artists had with the record labels because of how shitty.
Yeah, that is very, very true. They got screwed on the early days. Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up one thing that I thought was crazy. I got to find it in my notes here. Where is it? Okay. So the Van Halen Brothers, so when it was just Eddie and his brother, their first band was called the Broken Combs.
Oh, wow.
And then as they started getting a little bit more popular just locally, they changed their name to the Trojan Rubber Company.
Where are they from, Matt?
By
Are
the way.
Yeah, of course not. It just launched the Trojan Company.
I think they're all, except for David Lee Roth, they're from California.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
And David Lee Roth was Indiana, I believe.
Okay.
And they met him because they were like renting equipment from him.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, they after being the Trojan Rubber Company in '72, they changed their name to Genesis.
Stop it! Genesis already existed, though, didn't they?
They did, and that's why they changed it again.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, they didn't know, and then they found out, and they're like, "Oh shit, we got to change our name." And then they changed it to Mammoth before they eventually came Van Halen.
Oh my god! Well, okay, so I guess it's even still though because Genesis was still popular out here at that time. Like I know that they were a British band, but come on, guys, fucking pay attention.
There is really. I guess we got to change our name, guys.
Let's change it for the 10th time. I mean, shit. Let's make it, a totally even number this time, guys.
That'd be like me having a name like, fuck, I got to change it again. Son of a bitch.
Sorry, Matt. Go on. Please continue.
As far as what else? David Lee Roth, after the 1984 album in '85, he left the band. And then Sammy Hagar was the frontman of a band called Montrose, which I guess was fairly popular at the time because they come up a lot.
I was going to say the name sounds familiar. I mean, clearly I was a kid at that time, so I wouldn't have been familiar. Yeah.
They weren't like I think a big band. Like they weren't like a Van Halen at the time, but they were touring with big bands, and that's how they got to meet him. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now the first Hagar, the first Van Hagar album, wasn't it OU 812?
Yes, I believe that is, yeah.
And was that 86 or 87? Or was it later than that? Because I remember
it would have been 86, I believe.
Was it? Because I remember David Lee Roth, like when he did the solo, and what was the song? It was just like Living in Paradise or something.
Mm-hmm.
That like I remember that being his first solo single that I was familiar with. And then I stopped following because I didn't give a shit because I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just watch that guy, even though when you're a kid, you're kind of like, this guy's a little bit of a, weirdo. Like, just the way he danced around, just his mannerisms and everything. He's like, that dude is on drugs.
Well, he is. So the Kiss farewell tour that I was supposed to go see last September, they rescheduled it for this year in September, and David Lee Roth is actually opening. So I'm in all honesty, I'm pretty stoked to see him open because I've never seen Van Halen obviously live. I never saw David Lee Roth ever live. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting combination.
He can't be the same guy anymore though.
He fucking better not be, dude. Like I hope that he's calmed his shit, but that he's still entertaining as hell.
Well, just that though. I mean, he was a guy who would be able to sing and run around on stage like a madman.
Yeah, there's no way. Like
I can't imagine he's doing that now. There's probably a lot of standing still.
yeah.
30 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, because how old is he now? He's what? He's my mom's age. My mom would have been 67 this year. He's going to be 60.
I was going to say like 70.
Yeah, that was my thought. I was thinking mid 60s, but then I was like, maybe he's closer to 70, and he's closer to 70. So, what's your okay? So Matt, you like the album 1984, and I think that's a great album. What's your favorite song on there?
On 84?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I would have to look at the track listing because I don't know off the top of my head.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But it's a good pick.
I'll pick one.
I'll look and let you know while you're talking. I'll take a look and see what songs are on it.
Well, I want to hear. I know you don't have a lot written about the second band that you picked, but I'm really curious who your and you don't have to talk about them a ton, but I'm really curious to hear who your second pick was.
Aerosmith.
Good choice.
Yeah, Aerosmith spans so many decades, so it's hard to say they were like, in this decade or in the, whatever, because they were popular 70s through the 90s.
Well, but they had a hiatus though, as far as like their popularity, right? Because they released some shitty albums in like the early 80s.
They had a couple shitty albums.
Yep.
When Joe Perry left the band, I think he left the band for 2 albums.
Yes, and then the Run DMC thing happened in like the very mid 80s. It was like,
and that kicked them back in.
That's exactly what it was. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they had like after that, then they had a really good run for about another 10 years.
Yeah, they got the Get a Grip album, which I love.
Pump is one of my favorite albums of theirs.
Pump is a great album. What was the one before? What was the other one? Anyway, the Get a Grip album, I mean, if you're talking about some of my favorite songs, they come from that album. Crying, Living on the Edge.
Yes.
There's like 3 or 4 that were just huge hits. And like, that's when his daughter, like everyone kind of got introduced to his daughter.
Yeah.
And Alicia Silverstone was in the one video.
She was in a couple, actually. Yeah, she was in a couple. Yeah. One of the London twins. I can't remember which one. The album that you were thinking about, though, too, Matt, Permanent Vacation.
I just was going to say, I just found it. Permanent Vacation had also 3 of my favorite songs of theirs. Dude Looks Like a Lady, Angel, Ragdoll.
Angel's one of my favorite songs of theirs, too, dude. Yes, good pick.
Yeah, Angel's a close, like, maybe 1-2 to my favorite Aerosmith songs.
I like that.
I picture Armageddon whenever I hear Aerosmith.
Yeah. Armageddon was huge for them.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing. Like, I would compare that to the Run DMC kind of comeback for them.
Yeah.
It's huge.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. I love Aerosmith. Do you guys ever watch the show American Pickers?
Yeah.
Did you?
Every once in a while.
Not my choice. My grandpa loves that fucking show.
Well, the reason I ask is because they had an episode where this dude, and I can't remember, I'm not going to get it right. So hopefully like somebody who's listening can kind of like school me on the Facebook page. But I believe that it was somebody who used to be affiliated with the band, had their original fucking tour van just sitting on his property. And he sold it back to Mike and Frank, and they restored it. Like they kept a lot of like the patina and stuff on it, right? But like, then because I think didn't Aerosmith get inducted into the Rock Hall or something a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Right. So they presented the van to them at that like.
At like the ceremony.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Yeah, look it up because the van, it was really cool. Like the art on the side of the van, it was like, I think it was their touring manager. Like it was a picture of this guy. It was just the coolest thing. So when you have a chance to look at that. Everybody knows I have a lot of fucking useless knowledge. So that's knowledge for you.
It's not useless when you have a podcast, though.
That's fair. It's fun. And I have to tell you this too, because Mike said this to me a few weeks ago. He's like, damn, you really like know a lot of things and you know who a lot of these people are while we're watching stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's the Rain Man in me. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'll be like, that was on X, Y, and Z.
That's your Jeopardy trivia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got the track listing for 1984 real quick. So a
Yeah.
couple notable songs: "Jump," "Panama," "Hot for Teacher." Those are probably the three top ones, three singles from that album. So "Jump," I didn't. It's fine. "Hot for Teacher." I think I like everything about that song except for David Lee Roth.
Because it's kind of an iconic song too, in my opinion, for that.
Yeah, but like the drums on that song are great. So I mean that kind of stands out for that song. But Panama's gonna be the best one.
Panama's a great fucking song. And I always think of that scene in the movie with McLovin, Superbad, when they're in the park.
I'm like, wait, oh yeah.
when Seth Rogen and Bill Hader are like driving McLovin around and they're like shooting at shit. And yeah, that's always the scene that I think of whenever I hear that song. I like it, Matt. Those are really good choices.
Oh,
You
thank you.
guys are doing really good with your choices.
Bam.
Thanks, Mom. What?
I approve, Sonny.
Good job, boys.
Right, exactly.
All right, so last one up. Are you gonna disappoint us?
No, I don't think that this is a disappointment in my opinion. My all-time favorite hair band is Poison.
All right, I should have seen that coming.
It's by a landslide. I've seen them live like 2 or 3 times, and they never disappoint. I never saw them live back in their heyday. Never saw them live back then. Bret Michaels is an incredible force to be reckoned with when you see him live on stage. Like, I really like all of their early albums up until I think it was Flesh and Blood. Was like the one from the mid 90s, if I'm not mistaken. It just, I know that it got like a lot of accolades. Something to Believe In was a really good song. And I think Unskinny Bop was on that album as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm still like an early fangirl of like the first albums, like through that, because I would have to say, my favorite Poison album. Geez.
It's her favorite. She can't remember the name.
No, it's a tie between two of them because it's Look What the Cat Dragged In was like one of my favorites of theirs. And yeah, Look What the Cat Dragged In and Open Up and Say Ah. Those are my two, because Look What the Cat Dragged In had I Want Action, which is probably my favorite single of theirs. And like if you had to talk about, they always talk about like the hairband ballads. The hairband ballad song on that album is I Won't Forget You. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song or not. Incredible fucking song on that album. I definitely, actually, no, I fucked up on the album that I stopped liking them at. Well, I shouldn't say stopped liking them, stopped following them. It was Native Tongue, because Flesh and Blood was actually okay. But yeah, and then my second favorite album of theirs is Open Up and Say Ah. And that one, sorry?
I was just gonna say that was like the big one. It had a lot of the.
It had
I think that even if you're not a fan, you know.
Yeah, totally. Like Nothing But a Good Time. Now,
Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Your Mama Don't Dance. Fallen Angel. What's the other fucking song that's on there? Look, but
Nothing But a Good Time.
Sorry?
Nothing But a Good Time.
No, you know what? Maybe I didn't say that. Yes, that song is on there too. And then the other song that I like that's on there is Look But You Can't Touch. I don't know that one charted really. But I like the song. So I definitely like that song a lot. And I have to tell you, like, oh yeah. So the album that I said I didn't like, Flesh and Blood, I retract that statement. It was Native Tongue that I stopped really caring about their stuff. But it was Unskinny Bop that was the one dirty single off of that album. if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Something to Believe In and Ride the Wind. Like those were like the 3 big ones. But for me, like a really good hair band for me encompasses, they did all the shit with the makeup. They did all of that stuff. Like, you know, they were part of that genre when the glam bands / hair bands really kind of came about. But just their performances, like, you know, Cece DeVille and Bobby Dahl, I know that they both struggled with drug problems and alcohol problems.
Yeah.
But both times that I've seen the band, because it was only twice that I've seen them live, but both times that I saw them live, they did not disappoint. Both of those gentlemen were with them. And Bret Michaels, like I said, man, he's just a fucking powerhouse on stage. And I think, so when was it? Mike and I went to go see them with some friends back in 2018, and Mike was just stunned at how good they were. And I think the other thing that made him really appreciative of just their I don't know if showmanship is the right word to use, but that's the word I'm going to use. They care a lot about the troops. Like Bret Michaels does a ton of stuff for the for like the military, for the troops.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had a bunch of them there at that specific show. He invited them all up on stage with them. He made sure to like talk about them. I know like looks can be deceiving, and he probably comes off like a douche because he had that Rock of Love show and like all of that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Good way to get a paycheck, by the way. He seems like a super salt of the earth kind of dude. I mean, he's from Pennsylvania. He's from the Midwest-ish. You know, like he's a dude. He just wants to, you know, do good shit. And he really just, I don't know. I just have a lot of respect for him as a person, like as a human being. So I think that also weighs into like my decision for who I kind of chose as my favorite hair band. And they just have a lot of good fucking songs that you don't forget. You know what I mean? You hear those songs like, yeah. Like
at this point, they're an anthem. You know,
yeah.
Every rose has its thorn. You start playing that in a bar.
Totally.
Everyone's singing.
Yeah.
You know?
Even me.
Yes, right, exactly. I was gonna say even Nando, like he knows that shit too. But it's for me though too. It's that, Matt, like it's that quality, and it's also the other songs. Like even if they weren't hits, they're all just like feel good and energetic. Most of them, except for like the ballads, right?
Yeah. You
turn it on, you hear it in your car on a summer day. I'm rolling the windows down all the way and being that old asshole who's driving next to a 16-year-old kid and cranking my hair bands so that everybody in the free world can hear what I'm listening to in my car. That's why Hair Nation was my favorite station when I would listen, or when I had Sirius XM. Now I just listen to iHeartRadio, and it's called Slippery When Wet. That's their hair band station.
Yeah.
You know, it's a genre that's very close to my heart because I grew up with it and I just loved so much. I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't hard for me to pick one band because there's so many other great bands that are from that era that I still enjoy listening to. So that's my pick.
I liked your pick.
Yeah. Good job, Dana.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you. No, I think I think the one takeaway for me, and I feel like it's the same for you guys. You know, so many people shit on that genre of music, but it was a huge genre of music. It was sandwiched in between like punk and new wave, goth music, and like then also sandwiched in between all of like the poppy dance music that was coming out. And I think that people picked on it. They called them pussies. That like it was, oh, that's pussy music, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. But if you hear Every Rose Has Its Thorn, I know your ass is going to sing along to that because you know it. Like, I don't want to hear that stuff. You know that music. And everybody, I think, has a fond appreciation for that. And even if it's like a most minuscule way, it was a great genre of music. And they're kind of getting a bit of a revival these days too, because of all of the tours and stuff that are happening. Like Nando said, he saw Def Leppard a few years ago. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think a big thing about it was like the hair. Honestly, like there's like style like curled hair on men, and it was like back then everyone's like, what the hell is this? And then they start, I mean, like Motley Crue was one, Def Leppard doing the ballads and everything, and they're like, okay, they're supposed to be tough or what here, I don't know.
Well,
I had long locks at one point.
well, you remember the videos too, like the really early Motley Crue videos. They had all the makeup on and stuff too, and like Kiss still like Kiss really started the makeup thing. Like that was their thing in the 70s, and I think like it led a little bit into why the hair bands of the 80s / early 90s kind of. I mean, really, they lost the makeup after the mid 80s. Let's be honest, but I think that's why it kind of like carried into that, because it was like, well, okay, I can tease my hair and spray Rave No. 4 onto it and like put the eyeliner and the lipstick.
Aquanet.
Aquanet, yes, thank you. That was the other one. It gives me good memories. I have really, really good memories.
Yeah. No, good picks all around.
Yeah.
I think so too. I was really stoked when you brought up the genre, Matt, because I think it's a really cool thing to revisit, in my opinion.
It was him. It was his idea.
Was it yours, not? Oh shit. Well, not. No, I'm sorry. Let me give you credit where credit's due. Very.
Give the boy some credit.
Let me raise my hand. It was me.
It was a great topic, Nando. Really, really great topic.
I figured something that I knew you guys would know way more about than I did, but we would all appreciate it.
Yeah. I think this is probably like a good one for Dana. Like hair bands, I mean, some of them there's a bunch that I'm just not into. So
there was a bunch that sucked. Let's be honest. Like there were a bunch that sucked.
And there was a lot of one hit wonders too.
Yeah,
totally.
Or maybe two hits or something like Warrant. They had like 2 songs.
Oh, Warrant had more than 2 songs. Steelheart is what I think of, that song where he's sang in like the really high falsetto, Never Let You Go.
Yeah, but there was maybe 2 I liked. So.
Oh no shit! So they're 2-hit wonders. It's all good.
They're a 2-hit wonder. I was going to bring this up. Like you mentioning Poison. When I was young, I remember like still riding the bus. So this is like elementary school, and someone had turned to me and went, "Rat or Poison?" And at the time, I'm like, however old, I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And to this day, I don't think I've heard a Rat song. So
no, I know you totally have. Round and Round is like their biggest single.
Okay, yes, I've heard that one. But other than
I know you've heard a Rat song.
Yeah, you're right.
I have not heard a Rat song.
Oh my god, Nando! I swear you've heard this song. You had to have heard this song.
What's it called? Let me
see. Probably have. Yeah.
It's called Rat Round and Round. I mean, can I even play a snippet? Because I would be like so inclined to pull it up, but I don't want to get sued.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull it up, and it's going to be incredibly loud. Let's see.
That's fine.
Here we go. Okay. Oh, it might do. First of all, it might do like a stupid.
Oh, an ad? Yes.
Yeah, it's doing a Verbo commercial. So please hold one moment, and then I'm going to skip.
Oh yeah. Okay. We don't need that.
Oh, it's Rat with 2 T's.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you've heard that damn song.
It's like ready to go. Yeah.
The video is awful. I only got 11 seconds into that, and that's a terrible fucking video.
All the videos are terrible.
Yeah, they are.
We're figuring out videos, but like you want to do a video? We'll just do a concert video.
Totally.
So I was looking at like like other bands. I was considering let's see, I wrote down like Night Ranger and
Night Ranger.
Yeah. And I went on YouTube just to like refresh my memory on some of these songs. Sure. So I typed in Scorpions and I don't know if you guys know the song The Zoo.
No.
So there's a remake on not a remake, but like The YouTube video is not what, like the old YouTube video, because it's just a bunch of girls dancing, and I'm like, I don't think this is the right one.
Are you sure you were on YouTube, bud?
I was on YouTube.
www.pornhub.com is not the same as YouTube.
Wait a second. Delete browser history.
Delete cookies, delete browsing history.
No, his browser is just like, are you sure you want YouTube? I think this is what you want.
Because I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Like the song's right.
Right.
The video isn't right.
Well, okay, so speaking of that, so it's not exactly the video, but Whitesnake, like the big song, Right Here I Go Again.
Yeah.
They fucking re-released a version of that, I don't know, a few years ago. And every time I hear it on the radio, it pisses me off and I'm like stabby because I'm like, that's not the fucking song that I grew up with in 1987. You posers. Like, what are you doing? And it's not.
Well, we're Whitesnake and we need money.
Yeah.
Right, totally. That's exactly what it was.
That's what that is.
I think that they re-released it on like an anniversary version of the album. So that like they recut the single.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds even worse. And when I say worse, like I like the original single. So I'm not saying that sounded bad. This version does not sound good. And it pisses me off because I am old enough to remember what the original one sounded like. And with the terrible Tawny Katane dancing on the fucking car in the video, like I cherish all of that stuff. Those are my childhood memories. Don't kill them by re-releasing a song.
What happens?
I know that's the shitty part though. It does happen.
I'm gonna roll out Whitesnake again. Here you go, guys. 2020. Let's go.
Yeah. Did we ever talk about the fact that David Coverdale used to be in Deep Purple? He used to be the lead singer in Deep Purple.
Really?
Yeah. That was like a few years ago that I found that out, and I was like, get the fuck out of town, man. David Coverdale was in Deep Purple before Whitesnake, and I mean, I don't think that he was Smoke on the Water, but I think he was like pre-Smoke on the Water.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, David Coverdale.
Oh, David Coverdale.
With your terrible poodle perm in 1987.
Nando, you need a perm. You need to grow that out again.
No.
I'll do it for free for you, man. I'll buy the rods and everything. I'll do it for free, dude.
I mean, I can't. It's got to be you.
It was just too much. Like I was like going
This guy
around
was, like, looking like a Mexican beetle, man.
People were laughing at me. They like fake push their hair back. Like I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, you're making fun of me. Okay, I get it.
Nando, I need you to expand upon this because clearly I didn't know you. So you had lavish, beautiful, long locks and you cut that shit off?
It was his COVID hair.
It was my COVID hair, yes.
It was growing out, and he was starting to get the like little like 70s like early.
The flip-ins, we call those.
Yeah, like the Farrah Fawcett hair. He was starting to get Farrah Fawcett hair.
Oh, dude, I could have bought a Flowbee and given you a legit Farrah Fawcett hairdo with the feathered shit.
I probably should have styled it like once, just full on, done something crazy with it.
Yes, I think you need to grow it out and do that, and let's have a fucking field day with it once.
It's gonna be like 6 months, 7 months.
It's cool, dude. I have nothing but time at this point in my life.
By that time, it's gonna be like so hot outside. Just flop of hair.
Well, I can give you ponytail holders, man. Like it's fine. I'm sure Jacqueline has a bunch too.
Yeah, but I don't want one. No.
We'll do it. The 80s hair, a scrunchie, a big sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a picture. We'll put it up on the Facebook page later of how long my hair was before I cut it.
I love it. Do it.
My barber was looking at me. He's like, "What the hell, man?" He was not happy.
There was a pandemic.
Yeah, you were not open. What was I supposed to do? Cut it myself?
I mean, my poor dad. I've cut his hair a few times since COVID. My sister fucked it up really bad one time, and I was like, "That's payback for when you cut my bangs, Dad." When I was like 9 years old, fucking took shears and cut my bangs on a fucking angle, and I remember bawling and crying about this shit. It was awful. And I was like, he, that's payback, Dad. And so then he did it to his own self a few weeks ago. He decided to take the clippers. He's like, does it look that bad? And I'm like, no, it doesn't look that bad, Dad.
I think we're in lockdown.
Right. Like, and I'm not gonna get a whole asshole to him, right? Like, I'm trying to be sensitive, you know. He did the best that he could with the angles of the mirror that he could. That is exactly why I will not fucking touch my hair in quarantine. The best I can do is cut bangs into my hair. I've done it several times in my life. I won't touch any of the rest of it.
Yes, I remember bangs.
Yeah. Yes. I had them as recent, and I'm using quote marks, right? As recent as 9 years ago. Which is really fucked up to say that because that was the last time I ever cut bangs into my hair was 9 years ago. So, but you never know what'll happen. Yeah. See, exactly. Just like that. No, I can't cut them that short. I fucked up the one time and did that when I was trying to trim them. And I was like, oh, I fucked up on that part. And I kept cutting. And then they were like above my eyebrows. And that was as far as I let it go. I'm like, done. I can't do this anymore.
Pretty long bangs right there, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, I still prefer the really shorter kind of ones, like the 50s style kind of where they're curled over and shit. But I'm not.
Oh, I got, yeah, like with.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not comfy rocking that out yet, though. You know.
But soon.
Soon-ish. Yeah. Soon-ish.
I really don't have much to contribute to a hair conversation.
It's hair, and it has to do with hair bands ish.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna shut up about hair for real. What I think we need to do though, when it's less COVID-y, and I'll let you raise your hand for real in a minute, Nando. When it's less COVID-y outside, and when we can all actually hang out again, I would love to find a karaoke bar and do karaoke if you guys are down.
Oh yeah,
I'm down.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna need
a karaoke in a long time, and I was literally thinking about this past weekend about saying the same thing.
Get the fuck out, dude. Now, see, here's the thing.
A journey to the middle outing, and we'll do some karaoke.
I love it, and I own a karaoke machine as well. It's not the same at home, so
It's not the same at home.
It's totally not the same at home. Like, it's cool. I can display the lyrics on my TV, but
It's
I'm not
way more awkward.
Yeah, Matt?
It's way more awkward.
Oh, hell yeah. But I mean, like, the drunker you get, the less awkward it is. But at a bar in front of people, I like that way better.
No, yeah. I'll make an ass of myself in front of people.
Done and done. Wait, so
and then I'll
oh, don't worry. I'll just keep feeding you shots and then make sure that you're coherent enough to walk up on stage, and then we could do a duet together.
like, what does my part say?
Right, exactly. What does that say on the screen, Dana? What do I hear here?
It's all in English.
Yeah, it's in English. Damn it.
My favorite is when I get her to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying so hard not to do it again because I almost inhaled wine down my throat. Oh God, I love it. I love it. So all we need to do is all get the vaccine soon. And then I will feel okay enough being around like other people in public. I'll feel a lot safer that way. And I'll feel a lot safer, even though I still might bring covers for the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
bring your own like wind thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was going to say the pop filters. I'll bring.
Pop filter, yeah, bring your own.
I have a whole like package of them downstairs, so I can bring one for each of us when we go.
Nice.
Oh, boys, this was good tonight. I needed this. This was really good.
Yep, definitely. Good time.
Good stuff.
All right, so we got to do our little wrap up.
Yes.
So the email is journeytothemiddle@gmail.com. And we're available at many different places. We don't need to list them all. You're already listening to us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So check out the Facebook page, rate, review, subscribe. That's all I got.
That's kind of all that I got too. This was a good one tonight, guys. Really, really good topic.
Yeah, I had fun. If anybody wants to tell us, like, what their favorite hair bands was or were, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. Yeah.
I love that, Nano. That's a great suggestion. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to put that up on social media. I wonder, actually, now that you say that, maybe we could put up a poll.
Oh, yeah. And tell everybody that I won. No.
We could put up a poll of like our 3 favorites and have people
See
vote.
who likes it.
Yeah.
Who likes the most.
That would be fun. Okay, I can work on that this week for us, but I still want to hear like other people, like obviously like people who listen. Anyway, okay. No tangents, Dana. No tangents tonight.
No tangents. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.